Printing. It's not typically a CIO level concern. It's certainly not a decision criteria that's used to evaluate the merits of one EHR application over another EHR application. However, in those months after go live, OST has seen in our customers that printing is one of the top help desk calls, in some cases exceeding over 1,000 calls a month just for printing problems. Why is that? And is there a solution to this problem, which seems to be fairly ubiquitous in the industry? And I think the answer is yes, but some background is useful to discuss how we got to this problem. So, in the old days, we had a given application that was running on a server, and it would send its output to a discrete printer. There was a smaller number of printers, but generally there was a smaller number of servers that were involved as well. And so the definition of a print queue and a print device on a server was not an onerous task. But then we started implementing these new enterprise level applications where there might now be several servers involved. The connection is no longer quite as simple. There's a client infrastructure. And so we've got printing that's happening directly from the client workstation, the desktop environment. And then we have a series of Windows servers, blades running. And in these blades, we have print drivers installed, and we may have some print queues defined. And so we have queues that are defined on the enterprise server infrastructure at the Unix servers. We have Windows print drivers in use here for direct attached network printing. And we end up with multiple paths to the same print device, coming from different parts of the component structure for the application. And so now, when our physician who's at their desktop calls the help desk and they say, my output didn't show up on my printer, there's a real question as to what happened. Because now the help desk looks at this and says, well, was it a client print job? Was it a Unix print job? Was it a Windows print job? What server spawned the output? Where is that print job? What state is it in? And it's a very difficult process to debug. Requires the investment of multiple teams, perhaps, to identify why this one page of paper didn't come out from this one printer, from this user who happens to be sitting right next to it. And so the natural response is, of course, to reprint the print job. It doesn't work, and we end up with this problem diagnosis problem. There is a solution to the problem. And that is to interpose a technology here in the middle, which has to do with output management. And now, instead of defining this printer to every server that may print to it, having to have a discrete print driver installed on all of the environments that need to print to it, we define the printer to our output management environment, and then all of our client systems, Windows, Unix, and desktop, are defined to send their output to our output management system here in the middle. And then the output management uses our application facilities to generate pages. For example, the EPS infrastructure for Epic. And those print jobs are sent to EPS and sent back to Output Manager before being sent to the printer. So now when I hit print, whether it's from the client, whether it's a Unix queue or Windows queues, I'm sending the print job to Output Manager, which has full visibility for the help desk. And so the mystery of what happens to the print job is resolved with better transparency from a management tool perspective. And the print job is directed to the printer. And if the printer goes away, Instead of having to redefine that printer in any number of points of control and administration here, I define that printer and redirect the output in Output Manager to a new printer. And when you multiply this times the hundreds of printers that are involved in a typical hospital environment, the number of points of administration are radically reduced with Output Manager, the level of visibility is increased, and the ability to have redirection upon failure. You can tell what's going on. You can see where the print jobs are. And that's important as well from a HIPAA and security standpoint, because if my print jobs are going to printers and it has patient-sensitive data in it, has PHI data on those print jobs, then I have a technical HIPAA violation because I have patient-sensitive data that's showing up in the wrong place without the accountability of who printed it and where. So I prevent against compliance violations. I have fewer points of administration, and I'm able to manage my entire printer infrastructure with a higher degree of transparency from a problem resolution standpoint. And when you think about the fact that I'm now extending my clinical environment out to my affiliates, to physician offices, I have VDI or Citrix environments printing. The complexity of printing is profound, and OST knows how to solve that problem.